Welcome to our morning cars routine video where we're going to go joint by joint, 3 reps each direction of our controlled articular rotations. Now for our morning routine, we're only trying about 30 or 40% of our max effort because we're just in the morning trying to get things loosened up and trying to get some more awareness of our body. We're not going to go into huge detail. I'm going to do this with you. It's a follow along video. I'm not going to go into huge detail on each individual joint while we're doing this. If you need more detail on that individual joint controlled articular rotation, the car video, you should have it on that sheet, and if not, email me and we'll get that to you. Okay, so feet shoulder width apart, hands by our side, a little bit of tension in our hands, a little bit of a knee bend. We're going to start with the neck. So inhale, trap that air low. We'll start with a little bit of retraction, coming down into flexion, rotate into your right. Dropping our ear down, getting into extension, rotating to the other side. You should feel the stretch on the opening side angle as I go down, bringing my chin down to my chest here. I should feel it on the back side. Rotate through, that's 2. Dropping my chin down, or opening my chin up, rotate through, dropping my chin down. Once I get to the center, I'm going to go the other direction. Now, if I start to feel like closing angle pain, like when I come over to the right and I feel it here, just want to open up that angle a little bit and make it less big of an angle so that we don't have any closing angle pinching. That means something's going wrong, and we just want to be aware of that and don't go into pain. This is my 3rd rep here. Left side, make sure our scapula is down, nothing else is moving. Right side and back to center. Going to the T-spine now, which is from here to here. And give yourself a big hug, but not round the shoulders. And it's the same movement. So we're going into flexion first, rotating to our right. We're going to side bend down to get into extension, rotate through to the other side. Notice my hips are not moving. Side bend down to get into flexion, rotate through to the side. Make sure we're getting that rotation in. We're not just toggling a joystick, but we're really turning that thing each time. Side bend down, one more time through. Rotate, side bend, back into extension, rotate through, side bend down, back into flexion. Once we get to the center, we're going to go the other way. Back into extension, rotate through. Again, we should be feeling this in our T-spine. If we're feeling it somewhere else, it means something else is moving. Rotate through, drop down one more time. Laterally bend, extend, rotate, laterally bend, flex, and through here. All right, going to the scapula next. Hands are by our side. If you have a pant line here, we need our hands by our side that whole time. Don't leave that line, and my elbows are locked out. We're going to start in elevation, protract forward, depress down, retract back, elevate up. That's 1. Protract, depress, retract, elevate. That's 2. Protract, depress, retract, elevate. Go in the opposite direction. Retract, depress, protract, elevate. 1. Down, forward, elevate. That's 2. Retract, depress, protract, elevate, and that is 3. We get to our shoulder now, our ball and socket joint here. Locking our arm, coming across the midline as much as we can without rotating or unlocking our arm. Once we get to that roadblock up here, we're going to internally rotate from the bicep. As we reach back, we're going to continue to rotate, keeping our scapula down, till our hands by our side, kicking straight back, unravel, extend over the top, keeping our scapula down. Once we get to the halfway point, we're going to come right back up. That's 1. Find that roadblock. Once you get there, start to internally rotate, not just from the bicep, or not just from the wrist, but from the bicep. If you can see me lean right there a little bit. As I come back, again, the first goal while we're doing this is to learn the body enough so that we're not moving all around as we're going through this. I mean, I've done these a million times, but you can see me still want other joints taking over. Okay, we have to do this one side at a time, so we're going right into our left. Coming across, hitting that roadblock, internally rotate. You should think about what it feels like side to side. Very rarely do 2 joints feel exactly the same. This side is way crunchier. You can see my elbows bending a little bit more on this side. Scapula is a little bit higher on this side. feel a little tighter as well. Extend back, unravel, coming all the way up. That's 2. Locking that arm out, finding that roadblock, internally rotating as I reach back, scapula down. Kicking straight back, unravel, and we're down. Okay, shaking it out. Now we're doing elbows. Doing bilaterally, keeping that knee bent. Don't lock it out. We don't want to be here anytime we're doing stuff. Make sure we're bent knee. Supinating as far as we can. Elbow pit's got to be going forward the whole time. Supinating as far as we can and continuing to rotate out as I come up. Once I'm here, I'm going to come across the midline to pronate and extend. Supinate. I am flex. Remember, we should only feel this in my elbow. If I'm feeling it in other places, I'm cranking too hard. I'm recruiting other stuff. Pronate, and we're going to come, that's 3, so we're going to come right back up. Notice you can see my elbow pits the whole time. Those aren't moving. If I'm doing this, I've gone too far. That's my shoulder. Rotate across. Rotate across. And you know, we're just going to do one more. Rotate. And down. Good. Okay, so same thing with the, bilaterally for the wrist. You can do these one at a time if you're having trouble, so you can give yourself a little bit of a control here. But we're going to do them bilaterally again. If you need a breakdown, we have other videos for that. We're going right into it. Keeping our hands flat and no turning. This is the elbow. If we're doing this, this is our finger. So we're keeping our hands locked. So we're just doing the wrist. Coming towards the center, extending down, abducting away, flexing up. Keep that karate chop. Adducting towards, flex down, abducting away, flex. One more time, adducting towards, extend. That's tough. Abducting away. Now that we've hit that 3, we're going back, away, extend. These ones are tough. Adduct, flex, keep that hand flat. Extend, adduct one more time, especially up here. Come up as high as you can with a flat hand. That wrist has a lot of work to do. Okay, now we're going into the hip. I'm going to do this with my hands here because I can balance. If you need a wall, if you need a down, whatever you need to do in a standing position to keep balance. Like I said, I'm going to keep balance here. So, coming into the hip, standing nice and tall, I'm going to clasp my hands together here. I'm going to bring my hip all the way up into flexion, keeping my back nice and flat, abducting out to the side, internally rotate as I reach back, knees together. Kick straight back, whole thing comes out to the side, bringing that knee up and around, and rotating a little bit to finish here. I'll go from the side now for a couple of reps. Okay, coming straight up, out to the side, internally rotate as I reach back, knees next to each other, kick back, whole thing abducts out to the side as I bring up and around, keeping my hip down, try not to lean. That's 2. I like to get that little external rotation at the top here, abducting out to the side. Make sure when you're coming out, your ankle and knee stay on top of each other until I get fully out, and then internally rotate as I reach back, kick back out, and through. So that's 3. Going to the left side now. Inhale, trap that air low. Kind of externally rotate a little while I bring my knee up, out to the side, ankle and knee stacked. After I max out here, then I internally rotate back. Not a lot of extension here, so make sure you don't feel your low back when you kick out. It's just all glute. Whole thing comes up. Don't just let your knee come up. Whole thing comes up to the side as I come up and around. Knee out to the side. Rotate. Kick straight back out. Out to the side. And up. Make sure we're not losing the pelvis. Everything stays stacked. Finding that hip. Make sure we're not coming from the knee. If I feel like I'm using another joint, don't try as hard. Bring down the intensity or shorten the rep. Either one should allow you to start feeling it better in the right spot. Okay, onto the knee. One of the harder ones to feel, especially in the beginning. Again, another balance one. These next 3, including the ankle, have a little bit of balance if you need to stay there the whole time. Bringing my knee up into my hip up into flexion. My knee actually moves, but this is bringing my hip up. Now, to move my knee, I'm going to flex my knee, rotate externally, and then I'm going to extend. Not all the way, just about 75% out. I can't rotate if I'm fully locked, so I got to stay a little bit bent to internally rotate. Try not to move from the ankle like I just did. Rotate that shin. Notice my shin is the only thing that should be moving. My ankle is moving with my shin. That means that I'm just moving the knee. This is my third rep. So I'm going to go back, keep it internally rotated. Now I'm externally rotating, extend, externally rotating, flex, last one. Internally rotating, extend, externally rotating, flex. Same thing other side. Bringing my hip up into flexion, rotating externally, extend, internally, flex. Externally extend, internally flex. Last one this way. Internally flex, right back. Again, all in here, in the muscle tissue, or in the joint tissue here. We're not going very hard. We just want to start feeling it in the right spot. We've gone the other way, last rep. Good. Now, just like we talked about not wanting to extend with the knee car because it can't rotate in full extension, we are going to lock my leg out for ankle car so that the knee doesn't rotate. So again, I don't want anything to move while I'm moving my joint that I'm trying to, so locking this leg out as I fully flex, rotate out, trying to draw the biggest circle I can without my leg moving. Invert out, invert in. One more time, that's two. Biggest circle you can. Now you can't see my toes in here, but hopefully my toes are staying relaxed in there so that I'm just moving the ankle and they're not in there doing some kind of crazy dance. Because when I move other joints, I don't feel it in the joint that I'm supposed to be working as much as I could. So we want to be silent with the rest of our joints while we're moving, including the toes. Flex up, other side, invert out, extend, invert in. That's one. A little crunchier on this side, not as much control. Two, if you notice my hip kind of moved out, that's three, other direction. One, really feel my calf and all my ankle stuff here. Two, and three. You could finish with some cat-cows, you could finish with some toe stuff, but that is the morning routine. 3 repetitions, controlled articular rotations of each joint. Thanks for joining me.